In this video here, what we want to do is we want to start talking about percentage problems. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a quick review of how you convert decimals to percentages, percentages to decimals, maybe even bring in some fractions here. And then we'll do one example using a formula and an application problem. All right, so let's start. Review of percents here. Well, what exactly is a percent? A percent literally means per 100 or parts per 100. And so what I want to do in this first one here is I want to convert a percentage to two things. First to a decimal and then a fraction, just so you can kind of see the relationship here. Okay. All right, so this is the first one. Let's write 60% as both a decimal and then a fraction. All right, so there's a trick here. And this is to convert a percentage to a decimal So if I want to take this 60%, all right, and I want to convert it to a decimal, the trick is you move the decimal point 2 places to the left. All right, so notice how you're like, well, what decimal point? Notice how there's no decimal point here at the end of the 60 here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in here, put it in. Oops. Sorry about that. I'm going to put it in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go 1, 2 places to the left. And then after that, then drop the percentage sign. So this as a decimal, I'm going to put a leading 0 in, is 0.60. Okay, that's our trick. So I've converted it to a decimal. Then as a fraction, because this is per 100, you would take this 60% and put it over 100. So 60% would be 60 out of 100. What we can do next is we can simplify this. So for example, one way that I simplify this is, what's the largest number that goes into both 60 and 100? I think it's 20. So 60 can be rewritten as 3 times 20, and 100 can be written as 5 times 20. The common value here in both the numerator and denominator will cancel out. And you'll notice that this simplifies to 3/5. And if you're asking if that makes sense, you can, let's just grab a quick calculator here. You can look that 3 divided by 5 is that 0.6. I mean, the calculator will drop off that last 0 here. You don't really need it, but you can kind of see what's going on there. All right, let's do the same thing. Let's write 2% as a decimal and then a fraction. So 2%. So we're going to use our trick here. We're going to put the decimal point in, and then the trick is we're going to move it 2 places to the left. So 1, 2 places. So this is the new point of the decimal, okay? You'll notice that there's an empty spot in here. What you'll do is you'll fill that in with a 0. All right, and I'm going to put my leading 0 in here. So this 2% to a decimal is 0. Remember, I had to fill in that 0 right there, 0.2. Next, then, as a fraction, you're going to take 2, and remember, it's per 100, so you're going to put it over 100. So how are we going to simplify this? Well, 2 is the same thing as 1 times 2. And I think 100 is the same thing as 50 times 2. You'll notice the common value in both the numerator and denominator here will cancel out. And this is just simplifies to 1 over 50. All right, next. This one's a little bit tricky. All right, let's write this 0.05% as a decimal and then as a fraction. All right, so same thing. I'm going to put 0.5. I'm just going to follow the rules. Move 2 places to the left. 1, 2. So I'm going to fill in that missing 0. So this 0.05 as a decimal, I'm going to put that leading 0 in, is 0.005. All right, next. Now this is tricky. Let's write this as a fraction. So you take whatever the value is, just like we've been doing here. 60 over 100, 2 over 100. Here it's 0.5 over 100. Now that looks that looks really weird. So how to get rid of this decimal in the top? I'm going to multiply by 10. And look what happens. I get 5 over 1,000. So the decimal goes away. But now you just need to simplify this. And 5 is the same thing as 1 times 5. And 1,000, I think 5 goes into 1,000 200 times. So the 5s cancel here. And this is just 1 over 200. All right. Now let's go back. Let's do it the other way. Let's take maybe a decimal or a fraction and then convert it to a percentage. All right. So again, now what we want to do is we want to go the other way, okay? We want to convert either a fraction or a decimal to a percentage. All right, so again, literally means per 100 or parts per 100. So this one right here, this is a little kind of tricky. A couple ways you could do this. I'll show you this way first. 1 over 5. So you want to write this as parts per 100. So what do you have to multiply 5 by to make it 100? You have to multiply by 20. To maintain equality, you can multiply anything by 1. So multiply both the top and the bottom, the numerator and denominator, by 5. Or by 20, excuse me. 1 times 20 is 20. 5 times 20 is 100. And look, so what is this as a percent? Remember, it's parts per 100. So looking back, whatever we had in the numerator here, the top, that was our percentage. So this is the same thing as 20%. Okay. All right. Now this one's easy. So if you want to take a fraction to a percentage, just make sure the denominator is 100. So multiply some way to get it to be 100 in the denominator. Next, what I want to do is I want to write this 0.07 as a percent. So there's a trick. What we saw here was to go from a percentage to a decimal. We move 2 places to the left. Now we just do it the other way, okay? So to convert a percent to decimal, what you do is you move the decimal point two places to the right. And then add the percent sign. All right, so here, you're going to go 0.07, and all you're going to do is you're going to take this decimal point and go 1, 2 to the right. So you can drop the leading zeros because you don't really need them anymore. So it's 7, and then you're going to add the percent sign. So let's do this. 1.11, and I'm going to write it as a percent. I'm going to go 1, 2. So the new decimal point is right here. So this is 111%. This one's fun. Okay. 0.0008. Follow the process. Trust process. Go 1, 2. So here's the new decimal point. So I don't need these zeros anymore. So this is 0.08%. So a small percentage. All right, now let's do a quick percentage problems here. All right, and here's a formula that could help you here. So if we have a part that is some percent of a whole, okay, you could have two formulas here. You could say the percent, whatever that percentage is equal to whatever the part is divided by the whole. And hopefully this will make sense with examples. Or equivalently, you could say whatever the part is, it's equal to the percent times the whole. And when we do these calculations, we write the percent as a decimal, okay? And then if it's asking the final answer in a decimal, or excuse me, in a percent, you just convert back. All right, so we have these things, percent, part, and whole, right? And what's going to happen with these problems is you're going to be given two of them, all right? And you're going to want to find the third. So here's a problem. In a survey of 1,235 college students, 975 said they've taken a math course. What percent is that? Okay, so I'm looking for a percent. So it looks like I'm going to use this formula right here. So I'm going to, right, because I'm looking for the percent. So I have to figure out what is the part and what is the whole. Well, it looks like this is the whole because that's the total. And this is the part of that whole. So the percent is equal to the part divided by the whole is equal to 975 divided by 1,235. Now let's check our trusty calculator here. So we'll go 975 divided by 1,235. And I'm going to round this. I'll round this to 2 decimal points. So it's 0.07. That 8 is going to become a 9 here. All right, so 0.079. And this is rounded. So you have to be careful. Now you have to convert this to a percentage. Okay, so what percent is this? I'm going to move the decimal point 2 places to the right. And it's 79%. Okay, let's try another problem. In a survey, 975 people said they supported mandating, math courses for college students. All right. This was 75% of the survey respondents. How many people surveyed, or how many people were surveyed? This is tricky. Well, I know I'm given the percent. And so you have to figure out, is this 975, is it the part or is it the whole? Okay. Well, 975 people said they supported mandating math courses for college students. How many people were surveyed? Well, it doesn't seem like this is everybody, right? Because I'm sure some people, all right, if 75%, if this was 75%, that means 25% were like, no, you don't need to mandate math courses. So what this is this is the part. So we have this formula. Part is equal to the percent times the whole. Well, 975, my percent, I'm going to change that to a decimal, is 0.75 times the whole. Well, to get the whole by itself, to undo multiplication, you divide both sides by 0.75. These cancel. And let's take 975 and divide it by 0.75. It looks like 1,300 people were in the survey. All right, I hope this quick review helped for you.